Welcome back to 2015. This is Movie Club Strikes Back. We are a group of opinionated individuals, some of us eccentric, some of us possibly clinical, but we all have very opinionated thoughts on movies, and we get together every so often to try to discuss it about particular themes that are of the week, or whether it's new movies, whether it's old movies. And this week we are talking about highly anticipated movies of 2015. And with the self-promotions out of the way, who do we have? Who's here to talk about movies with us today?
I believe Chris is first, right?
Yep.
On Easy Share Reviews on YouTube, and that's generally where I talk about stuff from Movie Club Strikes Back.
Cool. My name's Adam. My channel is Junk Drawer Videos. I make a lot of wrestling discussions. I've been doing a lot more vloggy type stuff, and I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about on my channel.
All right. I'm Tor. My channel is called Tor's Times, and I occasionally do movie reviews, and more often than not, I do other completely random videos. So if you like a mixed bag of everything, go ahead and check it out.
My name is Baxorn on youtube.com/Baxorn, Twitter, on pretty much most of the social media type sites. You can find me with that name. Pretty much most places. I talk about movies. I whore myself out to SourceFed Nerd Anime Club, formerly Harry Movie Club and SourceFed Nerd Movie Club, which are now both on hiatus, unfortunately. And I also, when able, try to update the Movie Club Strikes Back page. I do want to apologize, as I haven't been around much lately, as I've been very busy, and I'm going to try to start up again with Movie Club Strikes Back. Like I was mentioning, we were talking about highly anticipated movies of 2015, as it is the new year. We have a lot of new movies coming out. We have Marvel coming out with its slew of movies. We have old actors coming back from retirement and reprising old roles who just don't want to retire. We have also Star Wars coming out, and books to films, and we also have a few actual original movies coming out. And I'm just going to throw out the question out there. What are your guys' thoughts on the movies coming out currently? What's your number one, or at least top five type anticipated films? Chris?
Well, I mean, my most anticipated movie 2015 is the easy answer. It's Star Wars. You know, been waiting for a good Star Wars movie for many years now, and hopefully, you know, Episode 7 is gonna, you know, under J.J. Abrams is gonna meet that quota. I mean, it looks pretty good so far with just the trailer that came out a few weeks ago. So, you know, I like the look of it. You know, just the kind of the way they went about, you know, just the shots and what have you. I've personally kind of stayed away from all the spoiler talk just because I want to walk into the theater and, you know, see it for the first time. But yeah, I'm hopeful that that's gonna live up to the expectations.
Adam?
I feel the same way as Chris. I mean, you can't not be anticipating Star Wars next year. A lot of us, I mean, when I was in high school, maybe just after high school, is when The Phantom Menace came out, and it's just hasn't been what we were expecting in terms of Star Wars. Obviously, as that trilogy played out, the anticipated 4 Star Wars movies has dipped, and now that we're seeing it handled by someone else, it's, I mean, how can you not be excited to see what could possibly be done with a franchise that should be really easy to handle, right?
I mean, yeah, it definitely is going to be interesting to see what J.J. Abrams has done with it. I guess myself, I'm a little leery, particularly what he's done after the Star Trek movies. Wait, was it J.J. Abrams or Star Trek or?
Yeah, he did the first two.
Yeah, I mean, after what he did with the Star Trek movies, I'm kind of leery, but I mean, But Tor, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to seeing Star Wars movies. I'm a little bit younger than. I mean, I wasn't around when the first ones came out, so I did watch them as a kid, and it was really when the second series of Star Wars movies came out. So, as much as I can appreciate the anticipation of the new Star Wars movies, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Pitch Perfect 2. And I was perusing the list of what's going to be coming out next year, and I saw that next December there's going to be a movie called Krampus, and it's supposed to be a horror comedy, and there's not a lot of details about it yet, but I think that has potential to be a good, like, original film.
Yeah.
Not ripping on old ideas for Christmas and stuff like that. So maybe I'm just still in the Christmas mode, but I think there's a lot of possibility for some hilarity in that.
No, sure, yeah. I mean, myself, I'm going to say it. I don't think that Star Wars is going to live up to the hype, only because of the fact that it has been hyped so much, and it also has, like, the nostalgia factor of episodes 4, 5, and 6 behind it. I mean, a lot of people, I think, are going to go into the movie with the foggy glasses of nostalgia. I mean, even if it's really well done, sometimes I think that things can be hyped so much that you get kind of this expectation of it to be great, and then any little thing gets picked at with a lot of movies that happens, and then people are going to walk away saying, oh, they ruined it, or oh, this isn't what I remembered it to be, because they based 4, 5, and 7, I think, have been put up on a pedestal so high that it's kind of like hard to reach that kind of, it's just now like an ideal, I guess is what I'm trying to say, as opposed to like something that's
but those nostalgia glasses, I think, kind of got wiped clean with the prequels. I think that's going to temper a lot of people's expectations. If we were going in straight without prequels, and it was just episode 7, then yeah, that'd be a little bit more of a valid concern. But I think a lot of people have been fooled once by the new Star Wars movies, so I don't know that expectations are going to be over the roof. Maybe depending on once that first real trailer comes out, probably this summer sometime, we'll see, and kind of as we get closer and closer to the release, just where the hype goes from there. Then maybe we go back into that unrealized expectation game. But I think right now, a lot of the diehard Star Wars fans are going into this one with their eyes a little more wide open.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are hedging their bets, going a little skeptical and hope to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I definitely say that I'm one of them with the healthy cynicism. It's like, I mean, I've been kind of disappointed well, even with Star Trek, for instance, it's like, I mean, I was like kind of very put off with the way, I mean, I know J.J. Abrams' signature is the thing with the lens flares, the camera angles. I know that's his signature thing, but at the same time, he kind of like overdid it, I think, with the Star Wars movies, and so I'm like, part of me is thinking, oh, he's gonna give the wobbly camera effect a lot in the Star Wars 7, or it's gonna be 30 minutes of lens flare footage, and of course I could be crying wolf too. So.
Well, it's interesting when you talk about Star Trek, because the biggest thing I noticed about the Star Trek reboots is those almost weren't really Star Trek stories. Star Trek is always a little more about kind of the harder sci-fi and asking kind of weird philosophical questions, and that's kind of more the core of Star Trek. Whereas these new Star Trek movies were a lot more action movies, and I love Star Wars more than I love Star Trek. Like, Star Wars is more of an action movie, so I think that might be a better fit for J.J. Abrams.
True. Yeah.
I would agree 100% with that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like it would have been good if it was something other than Star Wars, like, and some franchise of its own with people going around in spaceships shooting stuff up and not being attached to the Star Trek legacy. But I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just kind of just leery with J.J. Abrams in terms of his style. I mean, I really want the Star Wars 7 movie to really do well, and I guess I kind of also have that thing. I mean, was Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill are coming back to reprise their roles as Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, and I don't know how much of a part they're going to be in this.
I think there was actually an interview where they said they were kind of like supporting roles. They're like passing the torch, so that I believe that's what was said. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I had read in an interview.
Yeah. See, I don't think that the movie's going to sort of blow up the box office. I think people are going to. I think it'll make money, but I don't think that people are going to rush out to see it because of the last three. But also, like Chris had said, because of the last three, I think as long as it doesn't have Jar Jar Binks, you know, like it's probably going to be pretty well received.
Well, even with the last three, I mean, even though they weren't as well received by the diehard Star Wars fans like myself, they still blew up the box office. And I expect Episode 7 is probably going to be the top-grossing movie of the year. I mean, even though it's only got a few weeks in December, I think it's going to blow the doors off of everything.
Sure.
I could be wrong, but I think it's got the potential.
Oh, no,
I think it's going to make money for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to flop. They're definitely going to make back what they spend, if not make a lot more just on sales. And just the name alone, I mean, people have been dreaming for Star Wars to come out for how long now? I mean, like I said myself, I really enjoyed the 4, 5, 6 episodes. There was a video game, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I played that. Never really got into the Battlefront series, but just, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want it to do well, but at the same time, it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, kind of deal.
Well, and there's all kinds of other remakes coming out this year too. They're like really digging deep. Like that, what is it, Gem and the Holograms or something like that? I know Kiwi was really excited about that one, but again, like kind of scared of how they were going to end up depicting things in that movie. So it really seems like the theme of recreating old stories over again is continuing on pretty strongly this year.
Yeah, I definitely, I noticed like they have that Fantastic Four being remade. I mean, the Fantastic Four original movie, that was so perfect, it doesn't need a remake, #obvious troll, but...
I don't even think I ever saw them. The Fantastic Four movies.
I didn't think they were that great. I mean, the second one had Silver Surfer, and then obviously Galactus would be the follow-up, and Galactus never came.
Well, no, they made a Silver Surfer movie where he wasn't Galactus in that one. Just the Silver Surfer movie.
I don't know if they made a Silver Surfer movie, did
they? They made a specific Silver Surfer movie. I can't remember much about it.
I definitely saw that one.
Let's see, Silver Surfer. Let me just look this up real quick. I know they made a Silver Surfer movie. I know I've watched it.
Well, they made Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, and then they also made a Silver Surfer specific movie. Aside from that, and
was it animated?
No, it was the same. I think it was the same people who made Fantastic Four because the effects look similar.
Wow, I didn't see that at all.
I heard nothing about it, but I don't have cable, so that's not surprising at all.
Oh, it was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007.
Oh, okay. So
that's what I'm thinking of. I think I never saw the first Fantastic Four movie, so.
Okay. Yeah, okay, then that makes sense then. All right, but there was no Galactus in Rise of the Silver Surfer.
There was a shadow of Galactus, actually. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like an adaptation of Galactus. Put it that way.
All right. So and then, yeah, with the Marvel thing, we have Avengers: Age of Ultron coming out this year. I mean, so far, I mean, Avengers 1 was awesome. Captain America was. I mean, Captain America 2 blew my mind in terms of exceeding. That was one of those few movies that exceeded expectations rather than disappointed. And then, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy last year was great. I mean, and for Age of Ultron, that's another one that has expectations really high for that one, but I think they can actually deliver on that one.
But yeah, Marvel hasn't really failed yet. I mean, I don't think. I mean, some of the like the Iron Man 2 and 3 weren't as good in my opinion as the first one, and I can never. I mean, the Thor movies were okay. I think the second one was actually better than the first one, but they haven't put in a bad movie yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, there's obviously the you know the level of or the benefit of the doubt. You can definitely give them the benefit of the doubt. The one that's going to be interesting is Ant-Man, just with all the problems they had with that one. We'll see where it ends up.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really good job with Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was also kind of obscure, I guess, an obscure comic book Marvel franchise, and that blew up. So, I mean, I don't see how. Yeah, they can go either really wrong with Ant-Man, or they can do it again and get another Grand Slam with it. So,
I have a question that you guys would probably know better than I would. I've heard that Marvel has somehow negotiated something with Sony so that they'll be making Spider-Man movies together now.
I mean, I've heard that Andrew Garfield doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. I don't think they're recasting him in the next Spider-Man movie. I could be wrong on that too, but I wouldn't be surprised with the departure of Garfield that maybe Sony is actually trying to be more, more copacetic with the Marvel franchise. I mean, it really is a win-win for both, I think, for Sony and Marvel, for them to not be at each other's throats.
Yeah. Well, that's like, back to Fantastic Four. I didn't read the comics, but somebody had shown me a few comics where they actually killed off the cast in the comic books of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Because they obviously want the rights back, and they can't get it from Fox.
Well, with Sony and Marvel, I mean, Marvel actually doesn't need Spider-Man. I mean, if you look at it, you know, with the Avengers and Captain America and Iron Man, and I mean, they don't need Spider-Man. And if you look at their slate for like the next 5 or 6 years, it's full.
Yeah.
You know, so you know they can take or leave Spider-Man. You know, so Sony they're going to want to hold on to it just because it's like the only franchise they've got right now.
Sure.
They can't make, you know. I mean, I liked the Amazing Spider-Man, the first Garfield one that came out. But they haven't really. I mean, it's been a difficult road for Sony over the last few years. Let's put it that way.
Let's see.
I would disagree though, because I've heard that they're trying to build to Civil War, and I mean you would need Spider-Man for something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be the next Captain America movie. Is basically the mutants are trying to, or sorry, the government is trying to get mutants to be identified and registered, and that's the thing they're going to go with Captain America 3.
Captain America through the Civil War. Whether that's exactly the story that was in the comic books, probably not. And since that's the case, they don't need Spider-Man. I mean, I'll defend that statement that Marvel doesn't need Spider-Man back in the theaters. You know, Not unless they bomb a couple of movies. Then they'll need Spider-Man back. But that's for the next few years. No, they don't need Spider-Man.
They don't. No, you're right. They don't need Spider-Man. I just think that I don't know. He's such an iconic figure of Marvel that it just seems wrong that they can't. I don't know. I'm just a big Spider-Man fan, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can certainly understand where you're coming from, Adam. I mean, I watched the not the original '70s Spider-Man, but the remake of that one, and they were doing a lot of the like crossovers on occasion. Sometimes, because that was around the time that X-Men cartoon was getting really big, and then have sometimes them with X-Men. Sometimes they have them with another group. They have them also. They had a couple episodes with Spider-Man and Vampire Blade guy, and that was fun to watch them interact. I think for fans, it would be a win-win. I mean, Marvel might not need Spider-Man, but it'd definitely be a win for Sony. It would definitely be a win for Sony if Sony got to piggyback on Marvel. And just for fans in general, it's like the interaction between Tony Stark or Spider-Man would be something that would be like a comedy gold.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I said, I like Spider-Man. I'd like to see Marvel making the Spider-Man movies is what I would like.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Isaiah J, who's in the Q&A, mentioning that the other big movie rights Sony has is James Bond, which is true. What's his name is coming out with another James Bond movie, despite the fact that I thought. What's his name didn't like being Bond, but
Daniel Craig, I think he enjoys being Bond.
He does enjoy it?
I think so. I mean, I think he's gonna move past it when the time's ready. And he's only doing, I think, this one and the next one. I think he's only on for 2 more. I could be wrong. It might just be this next one. But I think after that he's gonna be ready to like I said, move on. But he's certainly not hating the paychecks he's getting. So.
Yeah, I think that amount of money would change most people's moods. And also, let's see. So, Fantastic Four. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about that. Oh, and but yeah, speaking of actors, for that matter, I mean, we have Tom Cruise coming out of retirement with movies like Mission Impossible 5. We also have Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out of retirement with movies with the Terminator Genesis. I remember Adam and I were watching the Terminator Genesis trailer. That actually looked interesting, at least on a production value scale.
Yeah.
And,
now, is he actually going to be playing a Terminator, or are they going to be doing like the CGI thing like they did the last time?
No, interestingly, what they're going to do, and we were Baxorn and I were in a chat, and I think it was Rhino told us, what they're going to do is he's going to play Terminator, and they're not going to like change the way that he looks, because his skin is organic, so his skin still ages, even though he is a machine underneath it.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Have you guys seen the trailer?
I saw one of the trailers.
Yeah, we saw one of the Terminator trailers, and I think when we saw he had like a jetpack or something, and he was like flying, and then this girl was saying, the girl gave the tagline of the Terminator movie, "If you want to live, come with me." That was
yes.
that was something that put Adam and me both off, I think, when we heard her say that. But
well, you know, you gotta. Everybody gives that line at one point or another.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see Khaleesi play Sarah Connor.
is that what's
I'm kind
going
of looking
on?
forward to that. So we'll see.
I need to look into this.
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to Terminator more than I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible 5. I saw the trailer for Mission Impossible 5, and it looked like Tom Cruise running around getting shot up like a couple of his Mission Impossible movies are, and I mean, it just makes me wonder. I mean, at what point is it time to actually hang up the acting trousers and just move on, or I mean, is it vanity, or is it just they have to stay relevant, or what?
Well,
I don't think he's like
not
done.
burdened by. Go ahead, Cor.
I was just gonna say I don't think he's like so old that he's done acting. Like.
Yeah, but I don't think he's short on the ego either. I don't think he's ready to concede he's not an action star anymore. I mean, I thought the last Mission Impossible was pretty good. It was better than I think a couple of the ones that preceded it. Yeah, so we'll see as far as that. But yeah, I've never been the biggest Tom Cruise fan, so.
I mean, I'll admit it. In a couple of my videos, Sourcebed Nerd had a Tom Cruise movie. Even I made fun of him on occasion, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. And I don't know if another Mission Impossible movie is something I personally want. I mean, but at the same time, it's like, I guess sometimes it's hard to come up with new franchises. And
Well, I think the issue is more that like production companies aren't willing to take a chance on new franchises. I don't think it's so much that I'm sure that there are plenty of writers that are coming up with new movie ideas. I would imagine anyone trying to get their name in anywhere is not going to remake anything, but it's just people aren't really willing to give them a chance, which is sad.
Yeah. And that's something I think that's a big change over the years, especially like with the 80s. We've got a lot of original movies and concepts, and it seemed like in the 80s and 90s they were just willing to experiment a lot more in terms of concepts of movies that came out. And I don't know, what, maybe the last 10 years it's been more formulaic in terms of what's come out.
I think one of the problems with... Go ahead.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Hello. As it started, I just got home from seeing The Hobbit. So, hi guys. Sorry I'm late.
Hi.
How was The Hobbit, since you're on a movie discussion channel?
I've got a lot to say. I don't know whether or not I want to take up the next 30 minutes talking about it.
Feel free to.
How many of you guys have actually seen it?
I haven't.
No.
I have.
Okay, so am I doing spoiler-free or not?
I would say
spoiler-free, since
I would
others
say-
will be watching this.
Yeah, I would say spoiler-free.
Okay. I went in with very low expectation, much better than I thought it would be, but be aware that it's like a CGI mess in places where you're like, they haven't quite worked out the green screen, but very entertaining. And even though those parts which are incredibly frustrating, the parts that are so freaking awesome make up for it. So definitely worth watching, and I'll probably get it on DVD, but I definitely think that all three of the Hobbit films could have been condensed into two, or maybe even one, with just the good parts, and that would have been a perfectly adequate 3-hour-long film. But there we go. That's just my opinion. How are you guys all doing?
Not too bad. What were we just talking about? Oh, we were just talking about like Tom Cruise and Arnold Schwarzenegger, how they're coming back to reprise Terminator and Mission Impossible franchises. What do you think about that? How actors come back wanting to reprise old roles?
Well, when it comes to Tom Cruise and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've been a fan of their work at any point. Like, I'll watch the films occasionally if I'm on TV, but they're never really actors that I've adored or followed. So I'm not naturally invested to see them come back. I think if they can do justice to the original parts of their franchises, then, you know, if they can do justice to the original story, if the writing and the script is there and the director who is signed on can, you know, justify these characters coming back in a new story, then all power to them. But it's when they, you know, take away from the original films that they have done with the new ones. Like, I feel in, what is it? The Mummy films, the original two Mummy films are really great entertainment films, and the moment where, I'm going to forget her name. Oh no. When Evie, the actress who plays Evie, decided not to come back for the new one, you can tell that she's made a good choice, because you know, she made the good choice, and that film kind of ruin the franchise. And you're like, I respect you for saying no, and you made the right choice because you didn't lower yourself because that film lowered the franchise. So that's my opinion. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
I have the opposite. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but I am a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, so I will go see anything that guy's in.
Yeah, that's. I could care less about Tom Cruise, but Arnie, go see that movie.
Arnold and Stallone, and that was one of the things that when you and I first met, we said, oh yeah, we're both big Stallone fans.
So
we were talking a minute ago about franchises and the fact that the studios aren't making any new material. I only really blame the production companies about 50% for that. Yeah, they're not making, are not taking a lot of risk on, new properties, but the rest of the blame goes with us, the audience, who shell out, millions upon millions of dollars to go see, the 2s and the 3s, stuff like that. So once, as a consumer, we, stop shelling out the big bucks for, all the reboots and start giving it to the, the new properties, I think that must change. And it'll happen. I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah, it's halfway there because it was a Marvel movie, and it could feed on that, but it was fairly unknown property. So
yeah, I mean, I guess in a way we do only have ourselves to blame for our Star Wars episodes 2 and 3, since episode 1 was such a clusterfuck of a bunch of crap, and people shelled out a lot of money for Star Wars 1, so. Why not make?
Well, I think people are going to get oversaturated with all this superhero movies, and eventually we're going to crave something different because the superhero movies are great. There's nothing wrong with them, but I mean, as we were talking earlier, we're trying to figure out, okay, which movie was this, which movie was that. Like, there's so many of them coming out so fast that it's like becoming this just steady, solid mass of all these characters are intertwined, which is awesome, especially if you're a fan of the comics. But that's not all everybody wants all the time. So I think people are going to start to, like Chris said, they're going to start to demand different stuff. And once we start putting our dollars behind other movies' original content, then that's when the production companies are going to say, okay, well, instead of making this like $12 kajillion Superman reboot number 7, how about we try making 3 newer type of movies, different types of storylines, and maybe see how that goes, maybe? Yeah. But I'm not a movie exec, so I couldn't say exactly when or how that's going to happen.
Oh, sure. I mean, I will say that I was watching a couple, at least one trailer for a movie called Jupiter Ascending, which looked like it was pretty original, and I mean, from production value-wise, it looks like they're going all out with the science fiction aspects of it. And I knew nothing about it beforehand, but that's something that I really want to see when it does come out.
Yeah, that's that was another Wachowski brothers, or well, not brothers, but the Wachowskis project. They put that one together, so. It looks interesting. I'm not as hopeful as I would be otherwise, just because you look at like the last 2 Matrix movies, and Cloud Atlas was okay, but yeah, it looks intriguing. This Jupiter Ascending, but I'm not extremely hopeful for it.
I think the problem that I have with Jupiter Ascending, and I've seen a couple of trailers, is it feels like it feels kind of a beautiful setting, a beautiful sci-fi reality, but it's not really in terms of the plot focus, at least as far as the trailers have shown. It feels like a very, Rebel Alliance princess comes in, saves the world for the bad guy. It feels, at least from what I've seen of the trailers, and that's, not much to judge on, and I really shouldn't judge a film from the trailer alone, but it feels very one-dimensional in terms of plot. And it kind of, to me, it reminds me a lot of the books I read when I was quite a young teenager, where it has, the young, attractive male who comes and talks to a girl who, she just wants to live her life, and all she does is clean toilets and stuff. that was in one of the trailers. You know, that there's one of the themes of the movie that seems to have been, it was in one of the trailers, and I think Sean Bean says something along the lines of, it's not what you do, it's who you are that makes you important, which is one of those statements that I usually prefer the reverse of that, which is it's not who you are, it's what you do. And the moment they said that, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like watching this one.
That was one of the lines in Batman Begins, like often repeated.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of like quotes that get reused in movies just because they're, I guess, that very deepness to them in terms of like philosophy and whatnot. But what you were saying a little bit earlier, Jenny, kind of reminded me of like the Sailor Moon series, how she whines about wanting to be a normal girl, but she has fight evil and whatnot, and for some reason Sailor Moon popped into my head when you were mentioning that.
I'll take it as a compliment.
So,
except she wasn't talked to by an attractive man, it was a talking cat.
Not true. I mean,
Which is way more cool.
well, unless you consider Tuxedo Mask. Well, Tuxedo Mask more just helped her on occasion and actually guided her around.
He didn't set her on the path to being Sailor Moon, though, and he turned the evil part with her.
So what else? See. Yeah. So. Oh, sorry.
As far as other franchises, what about Jurassic World? What do you guys think about Jurassic World and how that's gonna play out?
I hope it plays out well. I watched the first one when I was a kid, and it was like, as a child, it's like the most magical movie ever. And then the second one was sort of a survivalist type movie, and I don't even know if I even saw the third, but I think I did, and I don't really remember it. So I haven't really been impressed with the franchise since the first one. So I hope that it does well.
Yeah, I saw the trailer myself, and it's like, I liked what they did with it in terms of camera angles and how it looks. I mean, when the original theme music played, like the slow style that they were doing it, I got a bit nostalgic and a little bit misty-eyed. But it's like, it'll be interesting to see if it can like bring back the original Jurassic Park feel or not.
I'm pretty excited to see that movie, but I have to say I was very upset with the director for killing that Triceratops. I mean, it was just not right.
Maybe you should get PETA on the cruelty to dinosaurs.
Also, Tor watched, and I watched it too, but Tor actually did a review for Alan for Harry Movie Club for the Jurassic Park movie. I had no idea Samuel L. Jackson was in that movie. I was like, holy shit, that's Samuel L. Jackson!
That's right, I did. Yeah, you do see him in the trailer, huh?
All we need is for somebody to cut in, so he's like, I'm tired of these motherfucking raptors in this motherfucking base.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, or if they can continue like making Jurassic Park movies with this new guy. Chris
Pratt. I don't know if his career is gonna take off. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he's already skyrocketing.
Yeah, I mean, it was Chris Pratt that was Human Torch in Fantastic Four, right?
No,
that's Evans. That was Chris Evans.
Oh, Chris Evans. Okay,
Chris Pratt was Star-Lord.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
And also Emmett from the Lego Movie. So Chris Pine is just like literally in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Which is kudos to him.
Obviously, I'm wearing this for a reason, and that's because Mad Max is coming out this year. So, I mean, I'm wearing this, and I'm thinking, wait, I'm looking at myself, and it's, oh yeah, there's a Mad Max movie coming out in 2015, so that's going to be another franchise, but this one's not going to have Mel Gibson in it, so...
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looks pretty good, and Tom Hardy's been doing great, so... It's one of those, I think, right now, it's on my top 10 list of movies I want to see this year. the Mad Max is it looks amazing. I mean, some of those action sequences are probably just going to blow the doors off, but
yeah,
you know, that looks like a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely. I think post-apocalyptic type movies and video games are probably one of my favorite type genres, which doesn't seem to get a whole lot of exposure in terms of that specific setting. I mean, we get a lot of sci-fi, sometimes we get some fantasy, but in terms of post-nuke bomb, doesn't seem to get too much exposure.
Yeah, well, I have something to confess then, because I've only watched Mad Max Fury Road of the Mad Max franchise. That's the only one I've watched, and I watched it for the pick recently. And of the Jurassic Park films, I only watched them when Alan picked them for his movie club. So I only watched it, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, for the first time ever. So as much as I can feel the anticipation around me, and like I don't feel it because I didn't experience this until about a year ago, and it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's totally awesome, but I haven't been there for that yet, really. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
I would have advertising magic.
Like, even as a child, I would not have watched it. Like, I regret not watching it as a child. Now that I'm an adult and everyone else is like, ooh! But, like, as a child, I would not have watched it. I would have been like, no, I'll stick to cartoons.
I actually did that when I was a kid. Me and my dad and my brother were supposed to go see Jurassic Park, and we got in the car, we were on our way, we were like 5 minutes away from the house, and then I just said, I don't want to go see it. So we turned around and went home.
I refused to watch the second Lord of the Rings film because the first Lord of the Rings film scared me so much. I refused. I had to be like sent to another person's house for the evening, and I ended up watching Inspector Gadget instead.
Like the live action?
Yeah, the live action Inspector Gadget.
It was so bad.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And
so I am losing film critic points by the second.
No, it's not that. Matthew Broderick's, I mean, what was it? Yeah, Inspector Gadget was really bad. Godzilla was
awesome.
Yeah, something I want to forget.
Godzilla.
Hey, Godzilla like co-starred on the soundtrack for his own movie. That's pretty boss.
Yeah. Yeah, the best part about that Godzilla movie was when he did a duet with Green Day.
I mean, I think my two favorite Matthew Broderick movies still has to be obviously Bueller and also The Freshman. I really like The Freshman lot.
I like The Producers.
Which one?
The Producers.
Oh, Producers. Oh, yeah, that's right. We watched Producers for our source set. That was really unexpectedly good, too.
Has anyone seen the original?
The original Producers, no.
No, I haven't.
It's actually one of the few ones I've missed. I mean, I like Gene Wilder, and it's supposed to be one of his better performances. But yeah, I haven't seen the original Producers.
I haven't gotten my hands on it. I've heard a lot of really things on it, and I've just curious if anyone else has seen it.
No, yeah, I haven't seen it myself. But I do also want to read a comment real quickly in the Q&A that Isaiah J was saying that she thought Jupiter Ascending was based on a book, possibly. If anyone here is...
I think it is. That's what it says in the trailer. I haven't read it.
I
think it sounds like one of those sci-fi classics that was, pulpy in the 60s and it's finally made into a film.
Okay.
I think I've heard of it. I feel like I've seen it maybe in my dad's book collection at some point because he has like all of the 70p paperback editions of classic pulpy sci-fi. He's got them all.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it kind of sounds like something that might be from a book originally. Speaking of books, we have another book coming to film this year. We have 50 Shades of Grey. I saw the trailer for that last night, and just wow. I mean, it was like half of it was boring, and the rest of it seemed like S&M, at least in my opinion of that trailer. So don't know if
Isn't
anyone
that
else
what
has
the
seen.
plot is?
Well, true. I mean, I only recently found out that Twilight was basically Twilight fan fiction.
Other way around. 50 Shades of Grey was originally Twilight fan fiction.
Or right,
Yeah.
yeah. Words.
I mean, I can understand where the appeal comes from for that book. I haven't actually read it because whenever I hear segments or read segments, I literally am horrified by how poorly it is written. I'm literally like, this is your use of words? How did you butcher words so badly? And there's a lot of principles that I disagree with. But I can see where the appeal comes from, and people that, the person that we really need in for this one is Netta.
Of course.
Because she hates it, but she loves it, and I think that's how many people who do like this kind of think about it. It is one of those books that I think you either have to be rather. I'm getting used to this. The new Google Plus is very interesting and distracting. I love watching this happen. Sorry, none of the people who are watching can see what's going on right now, but I'm finding it very awesome and distracting at the same time. Words and stuff and things. I think I made a point somewhere along the line. I'm going to stop talking now.
No, but yeah, I mean, I definitely think it has a specific, a specific targeted audience for 50 Shades of Grey, and I've never read it myself, so I don't know too much to really be qualified to talk about it that much, other than what I've seen in the trailer and what I've heard about it in terms of just the general popularity of it. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to pay $20 to go see it. Maybe I'll wait for it to come out on DVD.
There's no way I'm going to see that movie.
Probably what will happen with me is I'll do what I did with the Twilight series, which is one day I'll think, I wonder what that's like. Get drunk and watch it through maybe less than legal means. Or if it's out on Netflix by that point, just like click it on and drink a lot. Be like, I've experienced it, and it's a couple of hours of my life lost. I probably made some jewelry, and that's done.
And the best part is, if it's really bad, you just keep drinking until you don't remember you watched it.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's probably how I watch it, just because in itself, like, I'm sure the acting will be perfectly adequate, and I'm sure the script will do the book as much justice as the book deserves. But there's a lot of principles that are, thematic throughout that I disagree with, and I wouldn't want to promote that. It's like not throwing money at things that we don't want, and there's a lot of things in that story that I disagree with on a fundamental level. So, I wouldn't want to promote it by spending money on it in any capacity.
Sure. Yeah. So then, I wanted to touch a little bit on what you were talking about earlier, Chris, at the beginning of the discussion, how you were mentioning about avoiding spoilers for Star Wars 7 and whatnot, and that's like a personal beef of mine, is where it's like, no matter where you seem to go, especially with a lot of the movies of 2015, and Star Wars 7 has been one of the worst when it comes to things leaking out. I mean, other things leak out, like the Deadpool leaked CGI footage thing comes out, and it's like, I mean, it's very hard to avoid spoilers on the internet these days. My default page is yahoo.com, and the first thing I see is the whole debacle about the racism with the stormtrooper and whatnot, and that's like one of those moments where a stormtrooper, I don't believe, has ever taken off his helmet in any of the 3 Star Wars movies. If that's going to happen, I wanted to be surprised by that actually happening, whatever the stormtrooper had to say without the helmet, and it just seems like it's really hard to get away from these spoilers.
I would tend to disagree, because I find that I rarely have ever been spoiled online, unless I purposefully go and look for something, and like the exception being the stupid news ticker on Facebook sometimes will say things that I didn't want to read, but I also have Google as my homepage, so I don't see any like news or anything on it. but I guess it kind of just depends what like websites you rarely view.
Sure.
I have a tendency to just go on like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So if I see a video about like Star Wars spoilers, I just don't watch it.
Sure.
But I do know like MSN News and stuff like that. Sometimes they do have the entertainment block like right in the center. So I just don't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Dom. With particularly with Yahoo, they're really guilty about it because they'll put some on their news page. They'll just put a story up, and partially it's on the fault of the people writing the story because they put the spoiler right there in the heading, and it's like I didn't want to see that. I'm not going to read that article because I don't want spoilers. So why are you putting it out in the headline?
Yeah, I mean even just I guess the title of the movie itself has to come out at some point, but I would say that would be the discretion of the company publishing the movie, not have it be leaked out months in advance. I don't know if did the name of the movie get like approval to be leaked, or I mean, because they can change it during a certain time frame, right?
I don't feel like the name of the film is a spoiler.
Yeah, you're gonna know what film you're going to.
Okay. Well, true. And
I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but if they do leak it before the production team's ready for that to come out, that's one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened with the title. I mean, the way they released the title for Star Wars was kind of weird. But like the first trailer for Age of Ultron, I think that was going to be leaked, so they released it before they intended to.
Okay.
Sorry, my cat is making noises at the moment.
Oh, I didn't even hear it myself.
Cool. About to get a cat buff on phone. There we go.
Hello, kitty.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So anybody have like a sequel that they're really looking forward to this year? There seems to be quite a few.
We've already touched on it, but I am really looking forward to Terminator because I love Arnold movies, and honestly, when I was a kid, Terminator 2 was like the greatest movie I had ever seen.
It is the best Terminator.
But there hasn't been anything good since then. It's just been like they've fucked it up over and over again. So I still hold on to that hope that maybe this time they'll get it right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, of course, Age of Ultron. That is something I want to see. What was it we were looking at? They were going to reboot. We were looking at that one thing. They're going to reboot the Peanut franchise, and it was going to be CGI and 3D.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that.
I don't feel good about that.
Yeah, like I said when we were talking before we went on air, I feel like that sort of does take a little bit of the charm away from Charlie Brown is now in 3D. Like. Right.
Yeah. Touching back on like the old actors coming back, I mean, I love Liam Neeson, but I do see that he's coming out with Taken 3, and I can't remember too much like good being said about Taken 2. I mean, Taken 1 was great. Taken 2, not sure how well that was received.
I don't know.
Yeah, Taken 2 wasn't as good. We'll see. I mean, the trailer for Taken 3 looks good. But, you can make anything look good with a trailer. So I'm going into that. I'll go see it in the theater, but it's a 50-50 expectation with me.
Sure.
I think it's one of those interesting ones where when they start a series, they start with a very specific sort of feel to it. And then once they get to a certain number of sequels, they kind of give themselves permission to have fun with it. And that's going to either be a breaking point for a franchise or the point where it comes a whole new level. I think that's what's happened with Taken, is they've actually started to have fun with it. So it's entertaining. It's not serious. It's not that original concept where you're like, yeah, Liam Neeson is actually a badass. This is awesome. This is, tense and cool and a new sort of action film. It's not that anymore. It is a parody of itself, and it's having fun. And it's, you watch it because Liam Neeson's a badass, not to find out that he is actually a badass. And a lot of series have done that, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But you know, it has to be, if they're going to do sequels, they have to say something new in order to make it a story, but they have to reference enough of the original material, and that is always going to be an enormous challenge. I think, yeah, Taken 3, as far as I know, is just basically like, stop taking Liam Neeson stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Stop doing it. Haven't you learned your lesson?
First the
Yeah,
daughter.
really, like, he's the one guy you don't want to mess with. Like, just don't steal stuff or kidnap other people's relatives.
Yeah, it's like first the daughter, then the third cousin twice removed, then the TV remote. I'll find you. I'll kill you for my TV remote.
Or at least break your fingers and take it back.
Yeah.
So,
So, you know, as long as they're self-aware, it's okay.
yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, I think that's why I loved Last Action Hero so much, because I mean it was basically making fun of the action movie franchise, and it was more or less Arnold Schwarzenegger being self-aware of his role as being a military badass and whatnot, and
that movie was so much ahead of its time. I remember when that movie came out. I even think I saw it. I don't know for sure. I think I saw it, but I remember it was so roundly criticized as being a terrible movie. And I watch it now that like movies have gotten more self-referencing and just more acknowledging that sort of humor, and it is so goddamn good. I think it's like Arnold's best movie, to be honest. It's just so funny, and it's right in all the funniest ways.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right, Adam. And one of the best things about that movie is Charles Dance. I mean, Benedict is probably one of the greatest movie villains, you know, in cinematic history.
And he hasn't aged to this day. Him in Game of Thrones is just like, oh my god. You've looked the same for my entire life.
Just like, I shot a guy. Anybody gonna police? Nobody? Okay.
Yeah, that was classic. Yeah, I think he's actually a vampire. That might explain why he doesn't age.
I think you're right. Actually,
he's immortal. You know, there can only be one, and the one is Charles.
Yeah. That's one I guess we haven't seen a reboot yet of is Highlander. They did like the TV series, they did a bunch of movies which exceedingly got worse, and we haven't seen them try to reboot that yet.
Yeah.
Give it time. Don't say it too loud, and it'll happen in time.
Let's see.
There's another sequel coming up.
Generally, and again, I'm not.
Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say that, generally speaking, you know, there are certain movies I don't think should be, you know, rebooted, but I would actually be okay with them rebooting Highlander as long as they kind of stuck to the first movie and kind of what that captured and how that looked, because that was really great, and the rest of them weren't, you know. So if they could kind of recapture the original Highlander spirit, I'd be okay with the remake.
Of course, with our very own Liam as Highlander. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Jenny.
He just like he whip out his guitar and like
whip it out.
Like decapitate. Whip out his guitar. Shush, sir. Shush.
Oh, his guitar.
His guitar.
And there's the first reference of 2015 to Liam's penis.
I'm so red right now. I blushed. Anyway, my point was, like, there's something very, very cool in Highlander about the concept of just one setting plus ancient swords, and the fact that they could do that and that sort of atmosphere. It's very, very cool. I'd like to see that maybe done with some better visual effects and whatnot at some point along the line, but I'm not desperate for it.
I was just looking real quick, and one movie that I wanted to see a sequel to, which is coming this year, is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Great Destiny is coming out, so that should be pretty good.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's, what, is it like 15 years in the making now?
Probably.
Close to, yeah.
And I thought they did make a sequel to it like the year after they made the original. I thought they made another one that wasn't as well received.
Well, there was a couple of those kind of, those Chinese wire fu movies that came out, but I don't think there was actually a direct sequel to it.
Maybe you're right, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, definitely want to see some more martial arts stuff this year. That would always be. That's something I don't think we've seen lately. Is like a martial arts type movie lately, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Not like a high quality good one, no. And saying a high quality martial arts movie is almost paradoxical, but you know.
Well, I mean, like Jackie Chan hasn't. Is he like retired or what?
Yeah,
He's just doing
think
voice work and stuff.
I think he is retired from acting, but probably doing voice work. I mean, the last thing I remember Jackie Chan was it Where Am I Now or something like that, or Who Am I Now, or his cartoon.
Yeah, he started doing some pretty bad, like around the world movies. And,
well,
but he had some freaking awesome ones in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, what was the one he did a couple years ago with Jet Li? Where it was like the Chinese man. Like the Forbidden Kingdom or something like that?
That one was not bad. It wasn't like the same as his older ones. It was more of like a. I felt like it was more of a kids movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like in many ways Jackie Chan is kind of he's had that moment where he's like, okay, kids movies for a bit, voice actor for a bit, and because he's done that, if he did come back and start actually doing martial art films a bit more seriously again, I think there's been enough of a breather that if he does come back and starts doing more serious, as serious as martial arts films get, then I think it would really create a lot of mass appeal because he's been gone long enough for it to be he stopped parodying himself and come back as a fresh entity, which I think a lot of people seem to be lacking at the moment in terms of actors.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite Jackie Chan moment. There's a live action movie based off an anime series called City Hunter, and he has this one particular scene where somehow he gets dressed up in a Chun-Li cosplay outfit, and it was just so hokey and just hilarious when that actually happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was something I think he did when he was like obviously a lot younger, so. Yeah, I definitely think I want to watch that again at some point. But let's see. There was something else I wanted to talk about, and one thing I saw that I was kind of curious about is Scouts versus Zombies, and it seemed like trying to bring back another zombie movie for 2015 on the Halloween time.
I saw that. What's most interesting about it is it has Arnold Schwarzenegger's son in it.
Oh, yeah. Huh? Oh, Patrick Schwarzenegger. Yeah, huh?
Yeah. I don't know anything about it other than that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have to bring back zombies at least once or twice a year.
Yeah. I want to see, like, zombies versus bacon. Just, like, the ultimate showdown of, like, popular hashtag fodder. Yeah, and then, what was it? Of course, everyone wants to see the Walking Dead movie where Carl takes the helm. Nope.
No, I never got into Walking Dead, so.
I'm 2 seasons. I'm 2 seasons in, so.
Yeah. No, I'm just throwing random obvious troll shit out there. Not that I think anyone wants to see Carl lead anything.
Well, I think everybody probably wants to see Magic Mike XXL.
I'm not going to theaters for that one.
Oh, come on, you saw the first one.
My sisters took me to Magic Mike and literally spent the entire time looking at me and going, "Yep, Jenny's about to explode. Yep, and then as we're leaving the cinema, they were like, "Yeah, we broke Jenny."
I somehow managed to
Victoria,
get Adam to go and see that with me.
yeah, well, she lied. Like, we don't,
Lie.
we're not as exposed. Wow, you lie. Yes, you did. She goes, it's not like there's not a whole lot of stripping scenes in it. It's about guys that just happen to work at a strip club, and they go out and they party and they pick up chicks, and it's really just a movie about like partying and living an awesome lifestyle, and they just happen to be strippers. And
That's exactly what
I'm
it
gonna need a
was.
I'm gonna need a trailer before I can see this, and then before I can agree to see this. And she shows me this one where there's like, it shows them partying and drinking or whatever, and then Matthew McConaughey is like, the law says you cannot touch, but I do not see any police officers around. And then I bought it. I was like, all right, yeah, that looks pretty cool. And when I got there, it was just nakedness on stage nonstop.
There was hardly any actual
misinterpreted the
stripping.
trailer. Like, I watched the trailer and I was like, this is going to be a drama about stripping with maybe some humorous upbeats. And my sisters watched the trailer and were like, this is totally a comedy about stripping. It'll be totally hilarious all the way through. I'm like, no. It's personal drama. It's going to be like stressful, dramatic angst with a bit of stripping on the side and a bit of humor if you're lucky. They're like, no, it'll be totally fun. And then left the cinema like, we broke Jenny and it wasn't a comedy.
Yeah,
I thought it was a comedy.
I honestly didn't, like, this is, in retrospect, this sounds pretty dumb, but I thought, like, there's not going to be that much stripping in it, and it was just, it was all in a strip club, like, really.
I see it saying that there's going to be a Rush Hour 4. I mean, I guess does that mean Jackie Chan is going to be back? See,
I hadn't heard anything about it, so I guess we'll see.
Rush Hour 4, I'm just looking up real quick. Yeah, it looks like director Brett Ratner, rumored, but cast Jackie Chan Lee, and Chris Tucker is rumored as coming back as Carter. Well, I mean, looks like I spoke too soon on actors coming out of retirement. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Jackie Chan's what now? At least 50? Oh, 50? 60?
Must be in his,
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting up there,
he
so.
must be in his 60s by now.
Okay. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because I know for his old martial art movies, he always did his own stuff. And now that he's getting kind of up there, I mean, it's kind of hard to have someone with his body type, huh, as a stunt double.
Not necessarily his body type, but, I mean, yeah, he's just getting old, and I think that was always the big draw for, his earlier martial arts movies, is that you knew it was him. And you can see the bloopers after the film, and just getting those stunt scenes in there, and that was kind of the fun of those movies. So it would probably lose a lot if you went in there knowing he's not doing his own stunts anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Courtney, welcome to Movie Contracts Back of 2015.
Sorry, I'm very late.
That's fine. So we're just talking about movies that we're anticipating that we want to see for 2015 that are coming out, and what movies did you have that you wanted to see?
I can't think of anything right now. Can you come back to me in a minute?
Sure, no problem. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but okay, no problem.
So much pressure.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, Jackie Chan.
While we're thinking about that, have any of you guys seen the trailer for Tomorrowland?
No, that one doesn't sound familiar to me.
I have, yes. I have no idea what it's about while watching that trailer, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I just read a little bit of it. I mean, Disney going off and making another movie about, this time one of their kind of, not rides, but at least, theme parks. But the trailer looked really interesting, and I guess it's all about this kind of parallel world with, that's kind of a futuristic society. It sounds interesting, and you got, I think George Clooney stars in it, so I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
Yeah, he's in there.
Wait, George. Oh, yeah, George Clooney is in it. Let's see. Should be interesting. Let's see. maybe it will be a George Clooney that I'll enjoy, rather than him being Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Wasn't there a movie that people like secretly filmed at Disneyland without the employees knowing? And they would like ride the same ride like over and over and over again to get their shots and stuff.
I have no idea. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, sometimes it can. I mean, I guess depending on the see, for a studio, and a studio camera would be kind of obvious. But if you have like a smartphone recording stuff or something small, then you could probably sneak that in. Then I was at Disneyland with you guys, and I had the GoPro on when we were going around in the which ride was that?
The teacups.
Yeah.
My footage from the teacups, I haven't uploaded it, but it makes me sick just watching it.
But yeah, I mean, if I can have a GoPro on, I'm sure studio directors can figure some way to sneak recording technology into a theme park.
I had a camera in my hand on every ride. In Canada, you can't do that.
They're very stern about that in Canada.
Well, at least
I've never been to Disneyland or any sort of Disneyland event, so I'm looking forward to VidCon because that's going to be an interesting experience.
Yeah.
And Disney, well, at least the Disney Sunday that we were at, it was really hot, so that's something to be prepared for.
I'll bring an umbrella and my own personal tent and swim in sun cream every morning, and just cover from head to foot because I'm one of the pale ones.
I got like horrible, not even a burn. It was like heat rash on my legs. My feet swelled up, and it was really, really, really uncomfortable.
I didn't get so much as a tan.
You were like dark brown.
I didn't get so much as a tan!
You were so burned.
I am so jacked and tan that it was just like a regular day for me.
Yeah, right.
So I think we pretty much covered all our bases for this hangout session. I think we got pretty much most of the movies coming out covered. So
one more. Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, the Goosebumps one. That looks like I'm actually excited for that. Jack Black is playing R.L. Stein.
I could see Jack Black playing a creepy kind of storytelling.
And then also, of course, Hot Tub Time Machine 2 is coming out this year too.
Yeah, it is.
That trailer looks ridiculous. Like the definition of ridiculous. You go to the internet dictionary version of the dictionary, and it literally is just a link to Hot Tub Time Machine 2 trailer.
Yeah, and so it does look like they're continuing a bunch of movies, but does also look like there's kind of new concepts coming out. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out this year for 2015. Which ones are going to be the flops and which ones are not going to be the flops.
Also, I just saw that they're doing another live-action Jungle Book.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been doing that for a while. I've been working on it.
Yeah, I really like the old one.
But they did a live-action one already, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. I don't remember anything from it, so I don't think.
I definitely watched the crap out of it. It was really good. Well, I enjoyed it a lot. It didn't necessarily follow the cartoon movie story, but.
But okay, I'm looking at it, and it's got Scarlett Johansson in it. Interesting.
Did anybody drive a plane? Nobody gets that reference. After the Jungle Book, they made a cartoon called Tailspin based with some of the same characters.
Baloo.
Yeah, I remember Tailspin, and that's Tailspin. Other cartoons like Darkwing Duck was around that time too, right?
Yeah.
Disney came out with quite a few cartoons all around the same time.
Yeah, they really right around that time they really were focusing on cartoons.
Mm. Yeah. No, I think we covered quite a bit of good ground today, and got pretty much all the highlights, and I think we've all hedged our bets on which one are gonna be good, which one is gonna flop, and what we're gonna be cynical toward and whatnot, and we'll find out how things turn out. So let me.
So shall we sign off?
Yeah, so we'll start signing off, and then see everyone next time.
I think Chris starts off.
Yeah, I think Chris is first. I think.
Yeah. Okay. We can probably just kind of use the same routine as we used signing in, and then we'll just. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on the inaugural Movie Club Strikes Back hangout for this year. I am Christopher, and you can find me on YouTube at Easy Chair Reviews, occasionally on Twitter. Oh, and for those of you who want to read, I've got a new blog site up at www.easychairreviews.com, and you can go there and read more about movies and stuff.
Hey, I'm Courtney. I know you only saw me for like 10 minutes, but I'm glad I got to show up at all. Real quick, I looked at the movies coming out in 2015. I'm sure you guys have already talked about Avengers and maybe Paper Towns, and I'm also excited for Ant-Man because Paul Rudd, anything you're in, I will have. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Cortnie Garrette or youtube.com/rhetoricalfoil. Bye, guys.
My name's Adam. My channel is Junk Drawer Videos. I do movie reviews and discussions, and actually I've been doing a lot of 7-fact videos instead of movie discussions lately. Basically, I just do whatever I like. My Twitter is Junk Drawer Videos as well, and my Instagram is Junk Drawer Photos. Check me out. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hello, I'm Jenny. I'm sorry I arrived so late. You can find me at TookitHometoJen on Twitter, TookitHometoJenny on YouTube. I'm also known as ClassyLibrarian, and I hang out on most of the SourceFed alumni Twitch channels, and often I am modding, so if I'm distracted about being overpolite, that's just me. And I have just started sort of taking part in Project Chronicle for 2015, so I will be daily vlogging, because this year's motto was why not? So if you want to see more of me, you will probably see a lot of me this year and get very, very bored, but this is the best quality you're going to get until my new camera is bought. So yay! So if you want to see more of me looking like an idiot and rambling into nothingness, there we go.
Hey guys, I'm Tor, and you can find me at Tor's Times on YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, pretty much everywhere, and I post movie review videos and all kinds of other awesome, cool stuff that you'll love to watch. So go and subscribe. Yay! Bye.
And I am Baxorn. You can find me over at youtube.com/Baxorn. Most of the social medias I'm on in some form or other as the name Baxorn. And on occasions, I do try to update the Movie Club Strikes Back page when possible. And this has been my first time moderating the Movie Club Strikes Back hangout, so any kind of clusterfucks that happen, you can squarely blame on me. And other than that, this is Movie Club Strikes Back signing out, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.